Welcome, welcome, welcome. 3 essential tips if you are wanting to host a yoga retreat and you want it to be successful. I'm going to share with you my 3 tips. Number 1, collaborate. Number 2, I suggest that you automate. And number 3, you need to take control. So let's get into all of those 3 tips in a little while. My name is Nina Sachs. I am a yoga teacher trainer, and I am glad that you are here. I'm going to share with you a couple of my 3 essential tips. And then if there are any questions, if there is anyone live, then we can chat about that afterwards. So first of all, when it comes to yoga retreats, I'm not a huge fan of them. Why? As an individual yoga teacher, why? Because I think it takes a lot of time and you never get kind of like rewarded for all the excess time you spend planning, organizing, preparing, being at the retreat, all the energy that it takes. And I often find that as a small yoga teacher, the rewards with regards to all that effort don't actually weigh each other up. Does that mean you should never do yoga retreat? No. But here are 3 ways that I think will really, really help if you want to do a yoga retreat. Number 1 is collaborate. Find other yoga teachers around that you can co-host a retreat with. So how I do this is the way I do it. I have a yoga studio in Cape Town, and so there are 8 of us yoga teachers. So what I do is, instead of it being my retreat, I say, okay, we're collaborating. All teachers are going to be teaching something on retreat. So first of all, that takes all the stress away from me, from having to be present and doing everything. And now I have delegated, and there are 8 of us who are teaching something on retreat. So that is the first thing. The other thing, when you collaborate with other teachers, is that you can then get your minimum numbers. So if you have a retreat venue that needs a minimum of 6 people and you've got 8 teachers collaborating or 6 teachers collaborating, or your minimum is 10, then you already have your minimum numbers covered. And so again, you need to choose, is your retreat there to make money for you, or is it an experience for you and other yoga teachers? Or is it an opportunity for your students to come in at an affordable yoga retreat? So again, whatever the choice is, it doesn't matter. It needs to work for you. So if you're wanting it to be an income earner, then know that that's your goal, and then know that you're going to have to price accordingly. For me, for the yoga retreat, it was very much that I wanted it as a community. It started out, actually, here's an interesting fact. It started out with me wanting to support the yoga teachers that I knew with new information that I had learned. So we would go away for a weekend. I know I'd share whatever training I had busy done. And then from that training, we would then or learn what we were learning, and then we would go off. And then at the end of those retreats, I would always be so exhausted. And so that's when I shifted, and I was like, well, there's so many teachers out there. Everyone's busy learning something new and different and experiencing something different. Why not give them the platform to share what they're learning as well? Like, it doesn't need to be all about you, Nina. And so that is where I came up with this idea of that each teacher can teach something that they are passionate about, or something that they have just learned. And so that has been a key element that has helped me. So if you just run your own little studio, maybe there are 4 other teachers who are similar in style to you that you can collaborate with, because then you and possibly their students can all join together. And it's so nice getting a different flavor of a different teacher as well when you're on retreat. Okay, so that is the first thing that I learned, to collaborate with others. So we then came around, and it was just a teacher's retreat. And then the studio members, participants, heard that, well, there's a retreat happening, why can't we come? And so then it was opened up to studio participants as well. And then I started from there, year after year, started advertising it out. And so other teachers from other schools and other students could also come to the retreats. And now they're big retreats. The last retreat I had was 20 people. And I didn't have to stress to sell out those spots. We were sold out within probably 2 or 3 weeks of having launched the retreat. And so that is what I want for you. I don't want you to have to scrimp and scrape to get your numbers together. I want you to be able to put something out there, say we've got 5 more spots left, and that's it. And so that when you put something out there, you've already covered your bare minimum. You already know where break even is, and anything addition is going to be additional profit to you or added bums on mats. Okay, so collaboration can really, really help with that. The second thing that I think is key if you are going to be wanting to set up a yoga retreat is you need to have an automated system in place, because otherwise it's going to be back and forth and back and forth and back and forth between you and a potential person who wants to book on the retreat. So if you, and automated system doesn't have to be difficult. It can be as easy as setting up a Google Drive folder with Google Docs. And in that, you'll want something like your disclaimer, your booking form. You can even have your menu or dietary requirements. You can have who the teachers are, the schedule. So you can have everything in a Google Doc. A retreat application form, so those who actually do want to go, they can fill out the form. You can let them know kind of like what the costs are. They can choose their booking or their invoicing, and then you literally can get that in your inbox when someone fills that out, and you can then invoice them, and then you exactly have the numbers. You can do a spreadsheet with all the people who are coming. So if people want to get a lift with each other, if they already know who's there, they can carpool. So automate as much as you need so that you don't have to be the one sending an email back and forth. Jane is looking for a lift. No, guys, there's a Google Doc. It's all on Carpool. If you're looking for a lift, pop it in there. Let people know where you're leaving from, and it's all done. So yes, it takes a little bit of time and effort to set up that structure. But if you plan on doing yoga retreats regularly, then the structure is something that you can have going on for the future. And you literally just need to change the dates. So take the time to set up the structure. So number 1, collaborate. Number 2, have an automated system in place for you that works. Google Drive folders work brilliantly for this. And number 3, that's 4, Nina. Number 3 is take control. So there always has to be one person who is going to be the decider, who's just going to make the decisions. Because if they're, for example, like we've got 8 teachers who come on retreat, I just decide what the story is. So we will kind of like, I might discuss in our WhatsApp group, kind of like venues, possible dates. And from there, I'll just go ahead and be like, okay, this is the date, this is the venue. And whenever anything that needs to be decided, like, for example, the menu, what's happening with the menu. I don't now go and collaborate with everyone and figure out what everyone wants. I just decide, boom. And what that means is that you're not wasting time going back and forth, and you're not wasting time making a decision. I just decide, this is the schedule, pop your names in, last minute gets like the last spot. And that's how I operate. But there has to be one person who's going to be responsible and take control. And the reason why we don't often want to have that responsibility is that because if something goes wrong, we don't want to have to take the blame or the responsibility. And so I'm saying, if you're going to organize it, take the responsibility in your hands and be the person to make the decision. So, for example, if your retreat is all about yoga and food and nourishment and diet, then you into food and cooking, then that is a big part. But if you're not, and you're going to outsource the food and the cooking, then you need to know that as well. So everyone needs to know their parts. If you're going to get someone in to do the cooking, outsource that, give them 100% control of that. Let them know this is the sheet where everyone's dietary requirements are. The last date, kind of like that, people can submit something is, I don't know, 3 weeks before, and then that will give the person who is putting the menu together time to make sure that everyone is catered for. Anyone after that, sorry, if you don't like mushroom risotto, then just bring your own food. So those are my 3 tips for you. Collaborate. It makes it a lot easier, takes a lot of the stress off you. Number 2, automate, get good systems in place. And number 3, make sure that there is someone in this collaboration that takes control and that is responsible so that you can make those decisions. One person where all the funding, the invoices, the money comes into one person who's paying all the expenses. So that is not drips and drabs here and there, and you then have to collate. Just keep it very, very simple. Keep it very, very streamlined so that you're not wasting a lot of your time going back and forth between a lot of areas. So those are my 3 on anything I use for retreats. I'll very happily share those with you, so let me know. And remember that you can pick up my 10 habits guide below, my 10 essentials that you as a yoga teacher need to know so that you can stay balanced and grounded, especially if you are planning a yoga retreat. These are the 10 habits of Ayurveda that I think everyone should be doing. So go ahead, grab those for free, and I shall see you tomorrow for the next installment on more yoga retreats. Take care. Bye.